What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest Live Show. What's up, Manny?
Yo, what's up, Ryan? What's up, everyone out there? Jeff, Josh Dragos, what's up, everyone? How you been?
How's your week been?
Oh, too long. It's been hot out here lately, man. I'm kind of like over summer already.
What is your hot?
90s? It's been like 95.
Man,
this
Vincent
week.
and I could. You have no clue what the East Coast is like. You have no clue. I will take 90 all the time.
I don't know. It's just, I don't get me wrong. Like, I don't mind sweating. I don't but like when it just doesn't stop and you just keep working, it's just like, I don't know, man. It just like gets to you, I think. Well, at least it has been getting to me this week.
I think you need harder cars to fix, and it would take your mind off the heat.
That's probably right. Because when I get like the big jobs, then I'll shut down the door, keep the AC going, and kind of just chill out, focus on that one job. But yeah, other than that, it's been good. It's been weird lately. A little slow dip I felt this week.
Yeah.
I've been giving out a lot of estimates, and the percentage of those estimates that I give out, that how many I keep, it's been pretty low lately, which I don't mind. Time to time it's okay. Because the rest of the year was it was crazy.
I see a little slower, like on my website, client estimate request. This week.
Yeah,
but it's okay. I'm good.
Does anyone out there feels like it's slowed down a little bit? Comments will be great. But yeah, other than that, everything's good, man. How are you?
Busy. But it's been good. It's been a lot of stuff coming together. We've got some events planned. We moved my canned food drive to
I saw that
to Friday. There was a friend of mine was a big guy for Pep Boys. And they always threw this like 1-2 weekends a month at Pep Boys, and there'd be like sometimes there 100 cars there. It's a pretty big event. He's leaving, and I was trying to capture that group of people that go there. So he's helping me push it, saying, "Look, move it over here." It's the biggest thing in our area is to be safe without the police hassling you.
Yeah.
So, like, if it's at my location, they won't hassle you. I know as long as you're not acting ridiculous.
Right.
But so I'm trying to move that. And then I have a big event I can't really announce yet that's kind of cool. It's a guy that started like a big car show thing when we were in the car show game.
Okay.
And I used to judge all of his shows, and now he's really grown this thing going, he's got a show in Puerto Rico. He's got a show all over the place. And
wow.
We're going to do something at my shop location. So it should be pretty cool.
Nice.
But besides that, everything's great, man. It's busy. We're busy. What else can I ask for?
Yeah. And, Alex just said school started. So that could be another reason for a slow dip.
You're right. You're right. And it usually is that, way that school kind of slows the industry down for a week or two. But
is your little one back to school yet?
After Labor Day.
Okay.
So we still have a lot of vacationers here. I can see traffic picking up today.
Okay.
But overall it's,
Shout out to Dave O, man, in the house today. He's killing it out there.
Chicago. See, he doesn't like the winter either, so can't talk about winters anymore. So anyway, we do have our weekly joke, but I'm going to get Vincent in here.
Yeah, please.
And I think Vincent was a little shocked when I asked him to come on the show because I met him a couple years ago at MTE.
Okay.
And then I'm just watching him grow. I like watching some of these guys just kind of.
Wait, a couple years? You mean like 3 years now?
It's been longer than that because I haven't gone. So It's been, I don't know if it was in 2020. I don't remember. So we'll have to figure that out. It's all blur anymore. You know what I mean? It's hard to tell. Like, you're like, what year? When was the last time? Oh, it's 2020. How can you forget 2020?
Yeah.
So, but let's get him on,
Yeah.
get this thing going, and see what's going on in his life. And he's
Yeah.
got some cool stuff. You know, I've been watching him. It's been cool to watch guys grow in their own way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
watching guys kind of figure out where their place is and what works and what doesn't work. And we all have different paths. So
Right.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear his story.
What's up, Vincent?
Hey, there he is. What's up,
So-
Mr. Vincent?
Let's introduce yourself here. What's the name of your company?
So I am Dean Doctor Auto Spa in Florida, actually in Port Orange.
Where's Port Orange?
So imagine Daytona, but a little more south, like maybe 2 cities south.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's basically like, it's like when you say Orlando and then you have like Kissimmee and all that, it's basically like Daytona and everything around it is still Daytona. So, you can consider it as Daytona.
Okay. Okay.
Got it. So,
go ahead, man.
Ding Doctor Auto Spot, you said?
Yep.
That's a pretty good name. How'd you come up with that name?
So when I started doing mobile detailing, it was attention to detail. And then when I got into PDR about 4 years ago, which Ryan, we met in 2019 because that was the last.
See, we were trying to figure that out. Ryan was like, "Yeah, I met him in 2020." Nothing happened in 2020.
We went 2020, right? It was January.
Yeah, that was the kickoff of COVID.
Oh, everyone was sick. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was the kickoff.
I was sick right before I went, and then like I went there, and then everyone was sick, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Then COVID hit, and it was like, "Oh,
Yeah. I remember that time. A lot of people got sick over there. Anyways, we're all good. Let's leave that in the past.
So, did you grow up in Florida or where's your whereabouts usually?
Yeah, man. I grew up kind of all around Florida. I guess my hometown, you could call it Ormond Beach, which is pretty much Daytona but north, like a city or two north. So that's where I'm from. I kind of grew up all around Florida though, and I've been in business in the Daytona area for the last 7 years.
Nice.
Are you married, kids,
So
ex-wives?
No, I'm not married. I have a girlfriend. Her name's Cassandra. No kids. We actually just built a house together, and
Nice.
yeah, we just got finished last year. So things are going pretty good, man.
That is awesome.
It's good to hear. It's sometimes I feel like when everything is together, you have a girlfriend, your relationship's good. You got good relationship with your friends. Your business seems to come together a little bit easier, and things seem to just kind of, the mojo is all together. You know what I mean?
Well, I have a funny comment on that, and it's something that like I feel like a lot of, and I feel like men in general don't really talk about it. Is like, as dudes, especially when you're younger, it's cool to like, see not multiple girls and kind of be in the single game or the nightlife. But when I was that way, like my business suffered. And then the more stable my relationship gets, just like what you're saying, it's like the more stable my business gets and my relationships with my clients get, because I mean, I couldn't really tell you why, but yes, it is definitely a domino effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something about, just we either become more mature or we start taking things more serious, maybe, right?
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of like an energy thing. You know what I mean? Like, people kind of pick up on your priorities are, I'm going to go home to, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever you have. And, in contrast to like, okay, I'm just here to mess around and make $1 so I can go mess around somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Manny I do this. My kid picks a joke every week, and Manny really struggles. So hopefully you can help him out with this one.
Please.
Hope you guys in the comments can help him out too. So
Please.
why did the cell phone get glasses?
Why?
Why did the cell phone get glasses?
So you can see better?
It doesn't have any eyes. I don't know.
Because it lost her contacts.
Man.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
All right.
That was good. I would have never had guessed that one.
That was a good one. So,
oh man.
Dents, no, I get it.
So anyway, I'm getting some funny comments here, but so me and you met obviously 2019, 2020, and you were just getting into paintless dent repair at that time, right? Or were you just still kind of trying to grow what you had?
So yeah, I'm not gonna act like I'm some super big, crazy expert that's been in the game forever. I'm about 4 maybe 5 years into paintless dent repair. When you met me, I had just crossed my threshold from destroying panels to make it look okay. And
we've all been there.
The okay part, man, I thought I was the hottest thing on earth, and I was like, you know what? I'm ready for, to hang around the big boys. And I didn't realize how much more I still had to learn. But yeah, so I was kind of, just crossing that threshold when we met.
Had you had gone to the Mobile Tech Expo before, even from your detailing side, or that was your first time?
That was my first time. I actually have never gone as a detailer, as weird as that sounds. I kind of go as a dent guy because I've been doing detailing for so long, man. I would consider myself an expert when it comes to detailing and ceramic coatings. So I personally felt like I didn't have anything to gain as a detailer, whereas going as a dent guy, I knew what I didn't know, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So there was a lot more room for growth in that area, growing as someone who was a novice. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot of PDR techs that came from like body shop estimator. They found it so easy to go into PDR. Will you consider the same coming from detailing, or is it?
So the only thing that detailing made easier with PDR was sanding. Like that, it was kind of weird, like hearing a lot of PDR guys talk about sanding and talking about let's get this texture out, and they'd talk about toll cut, using little sanding blocks, and I'm like, damn, okay, yeah, it works, but there's an easier way to do that. So it definitely helped understand texture in the end game when it came to finishing.
Got it. Yeah. It's funny, when I started, there was a lot I knew about panels behind it, but because I was an expert in polishing or detailing, that's the area where I'll say it sucked. Sometimes I wouldn't even polish or color sand cars, and I would tell the client that they had to call a professional detailer to do that. It was just bad.
Sorry. Yeah, I've actually ran into some dent guys who, they're like, man, how do you do that? How do you do that? And it's, I'm kind of with them too. I see some of their work, and I'm like, damn, how'd you do that dent wise? And I don't know, man. It's just something you kind of get after a while.
Yeah.
How long have you been detailing?
The past 7 years. So honestly, about 8 years ago, I had just gotten into cars. I didn't really know anything about them, and I was still in college, and I was, I had some friends, and they, we were working on one of his cars, his old Accord. We were removing a gas tank out of it, and that's kind of how I got into it. And shortly after, I started my detailing business.
Nice.
Now, were you mobile during that time for the detailing business?
Yeah, actually, I was mobile. I started business in a little Saturn. What is it? Little LS blue Saturn made of plastic.
Saturn, huh?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
And then I upgraded to I think it was a '95 Ford Ranger, and I literally drove it until a spark plug flew out of the motor. Yeah.
Hey, those Rangers go a long way.
Oh, they go a long way, man, if you take care of them. Unfortunately, I didn't really know how to take care of my car at the time because I was still young and pretty stupid. So it kind of blew up. But yeah, I was mobile. I had a 70-mile work radius. It didn't matter. I would drive 3 hours from Daytona to St. Pete to sand a car to drive back in that same day or whenever I got done.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah, it's a word for it for sure, man. I actually built my reputation on sanding econo paint jobs, making them look like they were worth a damn. You know what I mean?
So you were you're like the hero. I feel like a polisher just plays a huge role. You know, I used to tell in the body shop where like a painter could make a bodyman look real good, and then but I always thought like the polisher could make a painter and a bodyman just look top notch. Like a polisher is just, it's crazy how how important that position is.
It definitely depends on the polisher, man, because you have, you have three different kinds as your most like popular choices. You have the rotary, and that's where most people mess up, and that's mainly where your like body guys go to.
Yeah.
And like the rotaries, that's where
That was me.
you can burn paint, you can do all types of stuff with it. But when you have like your, forced rotation polishers and your random orbitals, it's really hard to mess things up with those. And
Right.
I would completely agree with what you're saying, because, you can kind of just pick those up and go to town. And even, someone who doesn't really know what they're doing can make a car look damn good.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned you were going into college and then you started your detailing business. Now, was the college part of that, or was it something completely different what you were going for?
No, it was something completely different, man. I actually, before I started business, I was actually a CNA. I was a nurse's assistant.
Oh, wow.
I was going into the medical field, and one day I was in class and I just kind of realized, like, damn, I'm going to graduate to work for someone, screw that. Like, I don't want to do that. And so I just stopped going, and I had like $200 in my bank account. And I went to Walmart and got a bunch of detailing stuff, and I started doing interiors for $30. And I did that for about a year before I got really serious with it.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
What was the name of the company before Ding Doctor? Since you were just detailing, did the company name change?
Yeah. No, it was mobile detailing.
Okay. What was it again?
Attention to detail, mobile detailing. It was
attention to detail. Okay.
Yeah, man. It was. I'm not really creative when it comes to names. Actually, my brain just kind of shoots out. And one of my friends came up with it, and I was like, "Bet, okay." But I didn't realize how long that was to put on like tax documents. Ever since.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
that is funny.
What made you say, you know what, I want to get into the paintless dent repair business? My detail business is growing. What made you make that leap?
So, I guess my best way to answer that is, I'm not really a car guy. I'm a craftsman. And I want to say that because first it was detailing, and I learned that I could sand cars and do pretty high level stuff within a couple of years of doing it. Then I got into window tinting, and I was like, okay, I'm not bad at this either. And then one day, like, someone said something about PDR, or I like looked it up online or something. And I was like, wait a second, that's basically free money after I get my rods. And it didn't make sense to not do it, because it was kind of margins at that point. Because with detailing, you have all these chemicals, all this stuff, and you can only do, so many jobs with what you have. Window tinting, don't even get me started. Window tinting pisses me off. But with dent repair, I have this, rod or, a glue tab, these things cost like, $25 or whatever. And I can make, however much in dents with this. And it's amazing. So I thought, like, it just didn't make sense to not get into paintless dent repair because, financially speaking, it was the smartest decision that I had at the time.
Did you know anybody that did it in your area? Like, you talked to anybody or?
No, I didn't meet people until about 2 years into me destroying practice panels.
Now, did you go anywhere for training? Was it online?
Yeah. How did you get trained?
So I actually, and I have kind of rehearsed this question in my head all day because I knew
you knew it was coming up.
So I will start by saying most of it is self-taught. Most of it is me just obsessively staring at my line board and staring at the panel until I blast what I had. However, there have been a list of mentors in my area and far that have helped. Jim Mitchell was a huge help. Michael Casper was a huge help. Jeremy Reynolds was a huge help. And locally, John Triz and Justin Bender have been some of the biggest helps when it comes to times that I was in pickles or didn't really know at the time what I was doing. Those are the people that I would call the most and be like, hey, can you help?
That's cool.
You said you're a line board guy?
Yeah,
or you're
man.
Fog. Wait, so you're a line guy?
Yeah, I'm a line guy. Yeah, I can't read fog. I do not understand it.
You're self-taught in lines?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It just made sense, man. There was a long time ago, before like the online training was as popular as it is now, I believe it was Mike Toledo and John Hiley were the only people with any type of anything on like YouTube. Yeah. And way back in the day, we're talking like, 6 years ago at this point, I was trying to find training online and I saw a very short YouTube video on like the line board with Mike Toledo. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Lines, skinny, put it down, lines, fat, bring it up. And ever since then, it just made, what I mean?
Makes sense. I can't fix a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with limes, so.
It's so funny because I can't read fog, man. I've been in shops with people and, we'll like trade line board with fog and they're like, I don't know what I'm reading. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm reading. It's really funny.
So a lot of these guys, and we've had the question already. I kind of want to dabble on this. I've noticed over the, I don't know, a year or a couple months, you came out with a ceramic stabilizer spray. Got to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, man. So this stuff, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good. This is the only thing I use in my truck. It is a SiO2 based sealant spray that you literally, after you wash and clay bar your car, I mean, you can correct your car too, but after, you wash your car and everything, you literally just spray this on, wipe it off, use the other side of the rag, wipe it off again, and you have 6 months to 12 months of SiO2-based protection on all surfaces. The stuff that makes Stabilizer stand out from all the other products is that you don't just use this on your paint. It also leaves hydrophobic properties on your windows too, which replaces every kind of car care product you would need for exterior car care.
Wow.
How did you come up with that?
So I actually, I'm not just, in the shop, cooking up, concoctions. I haven't, but the opportunity fell on my lap after I kind of gave it some thought, and I reached out to I reached out to a distributor, and I was like, I think I've messed around with this line enough, and I want to put my name on it. And ever since then, it's been Stabilizer.
That's cool.
That sounds like a really.
The cool thing is, man, and I like taking things seriously without seeming too like alpha male-ish, like, oh yeah, this is the best, you know what I mean? But the cool thing is, man, is like this year it launched on Amazon. I already have it in Advanced Auto Parts in Ocala, Florida, and Napa Auto Parts in Daytona. So like it's doing pretty well, man. It's pretty cool how much it's taken off this year because it's only been announced this year.
Wow. People are asking if it works on plastic too.
Yes, so it does work on exterior vinyl. However, it will not be as hydrophobic as your paint or glass simply because of the rigidness in vinyl in comparison to the flat surface of glass or clear coat.
Got it.
Now, what's the pricing on that?
So, if you get it online, it's $35. If you want to drive all the way to Florida and come to my shop and see my pretty face, it's $25.
Okay.
For an 8-ounce bottle. And this 8-ounce bottle, I kid you not, this will do my Tacoma. When I say do, I mean every single surface of my Tacoma 5 to 6 times.
Wow.
That glass bottle?
Yes. This little bottle right here.
Is it plastic or glass?
Oh, no, it's plastic.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that would be really expensive.
Yes.
So you basically you're still in business for the auto detailing and PDR now and everything that comes with detailing.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Oh, I was saying, so you're basically in business for not just PDR, but still for the detailing and
Yes, and window tinting. At my shop, we specialize in paint correction, ceramic coatings. I do window tinting as well using XPEL, and I've been offering PDR at my shop for the last 4 years.
Got it. So take us back a little bit. So, you said you were doing detailing, mobile, then you came across PDR, then you went to basically just started, working with that. And you were still doing mobile, doing both, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was doing mobile detailing while I was learning PDR. And
how was that?
It was kind of like I had to, man. I wasn't always as business savvy as I am now, and my spending habits were pretty bad. So it was pretty much work while I learned how to do something else, or not eat. Kind of. It was back then. It sounds kind of extreme, but back then I wasn't as responsible with money as I am now. So it was kind of a make or break deal, man. You know what I mean? There was a lot of pressure just to kind of get really good at everything I was doing. So that's kind of what was going on during the time.
And now, were you doing retail then, or were you doing wholesale? Like, what was how did you start the PDR end of it?
So PDR end of it, as I said, I only touched practice panels for, years. So until I got confident enough to not chew up panels, it was kind of like an only friend thing at that point, and people that I already did business with. And then I started getting a little more into, hey, I can remove that dent. Hey, not walking up to dealerships because I don't really do a whole lot of work with dealerships anyway. But it kind of slowly started becoming that. And as word of mouth came around, I started getting more complex jobs. And in that, I started picking up on, that thing I learned on my practice panel, I can apply to this. And boom, I got that done. And over the years, it's just kind of snowballed into where I can confidently say I can produce professional paintless dent repair results.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's cool. Now, did you see a dip in any of your services? Did you say you were doing more PDR than detailing? Were you doing more window tint? Like, where were you in your growing period?
So in my growing period, it was really funny because I feel like while I was announcing that I was crossing that threshold from getting okay to getting professional, I got the most dents I think I've ever gotten. And then over the years, I'll have a week of window tinting, week of ceramic coats, 3 days of paintless dent repair. And then there are days like today where I started the day with a dent and then it ended with a ceramic coat. And tomorrow we're doing a ceramic coat. And then the next 3 days of next week is all tint related.
Okay.
That is wild. That is so cool, Vincent, I gotta say.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it is kind of, the balancing act, but as long as the shop is clean and as long as I keep my tools in check, then there's not any hindrance in quality with anything, because, if there's too much dust around, then it can influence, if there's any debris in window tint. But if I keep the shop clean, then I don't need to worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it sounds like 3 different services that require to have like a clean shop, go hand in hand.
Absolutely. So paintless dent repair, I've learned I can do that kind of like, in the middle of the dirt anywhere. I mean, you can without really affecting the job.
Yeah.
Tinting, it has to be clean. There's no way around it. Detailing, you want it to be clean just because you want people to walk in your shop and be like, you don't want it to be a wreck. And they'll be like, oh, you're the one, cleaning my car. You can't even clean your shop.
Yeah. So go ahead, Ryan.
Now, with your window tinting, did you learn that on your own too? Or how did all that come about?
Yeah, man, everything that I do is self-taught, other than the mentors that I've talked to throughout the years, the ones that I mentioned earlier with PDR. Window tinting, that was completely self-taught. I learned little things here and there along the way from just working with other tinters. But yeah, window tinting, man, I have a love-hate relationship with tint because of how difficult it was learning that on my own.
Yeah, window tinting, it's difficult to learn.
It is, man.
It's frustrating because with a dent, I feel like, but you can reset it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With detailing, it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep, getting this dog hair out until it's all out. With window tinting, you got this whole roll of film and you just destroyed it. And now you got to get new film. You can't use that film. You just wasted a bunch of money. And that's the biggest frustration of the learning curve when it comes to tinting, when you're just learning how to do it yourself.
You look at the trash can and you're like, that 55 gallon is full.
Yeah. You're like how
Mikey,
hard is that?
when Mikey first started doing window tint, and it would just be, I would hear him. I'd be working on a dent and he's getting it all straight, and you hear him go, throw it in the, and by the end of the day, I look over there, I'm like, rough day, huh? He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. There's like 700 in this trash can. I was like, it's okay. There's another roll over there. It's okay. It's okay. But it is. So window tint is tough, and we get calls all the time for body shops. Can you do it at the body shop? And I'm like, no. What if we put you in the booth? No, that's not helping either.
That's kind of worse sometimes.
Now, considering you were self-taught in all those three services, which one would you say was the hardest? Which one was easier?
Oh, I love this question. Okay. And I love this question because how people act in the industries, to me anyway, is very ass backwards. Detailing is by far the easiest. I feel like anyone can pick up any type of detailing equipment and learn it as long as you simplify it.
Yeah.
Window tinting is next in line simply because all you got to do is learn how to work the film and you're good to go. The hardest to learn was paintless dent repair, 100%.
Really?
There's a level of tenacity with it that you do not need with window tinting or detailing, that you don't just have it. You have to learn it.
Yeah. I don't know. You got a freak like Manny that only really been doing it for a couple years and just slays everything. But, I think you're right. I say this all the time. I see body guys all the time. They're like, I can do that. Will you hire me? And I'm like, you can't do this. It's going to take a long time. Do you have family and kids? Yes. Okay. You want to make $500 a week for the next 2 years? I can't do that. You're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and it beats you down. You know what I mean? How many panels you said you tore up a bunch of panels? Learning this.
Yeah. You
tear
some shit up. You know what I mean? I mean,
was there any times where you were like, forget PDR, I'm just going to keep doing detailing and window tinting?
So no, only because I had it like in my head that if I could learn window tinting, which kicked my ass way more than PDR did learning it,
you could do it.
I could just do PDR eventually, and I was right, and I'm very thankful for that. You know what I mean?
Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy paintless more than detailing or ceramic coating or window tint?
It depends on the day, man.
Yeah, no shit. You're right. You're right.
There are some days where I am doing a dent and it's this fucking big, and I've been working at it for 3 hours on that pit, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is life? I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
And
it's open.
Yeah, and there are other days where I'm correcting a panel, and I'm like, and I'm like, damn, I could have done a dent in this exact same amount of time. You know what I mean? So it really depends on the day and what's going on.
That's
and
great.
You usually know. I mean, all of us have this. I mean, Manny's a rare bird, but we all have this to where your first dent of the day, and you're in there, you're like, I got this. This ain't so bad. And you get in there, and you're like, bro, it's been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it still looks like hell. And you're like, what is going on? But then the next dent's a smash, and you're like, okay, cold glue made me some money. We're doing good. But I think that's in anything. Like me, Mikey tells me all the time, I'm absolutely the worst buffer you will ever meet. You want some stuff that I'm the worst buffer ever. But I haven't spent the time to really get, like, Mike is extremely good at correcting cars, like amazing. I haven't spent enough time to practice to really get to that point. You know what I mean? It's just I'm using a mini buffer, which is really hard to hide a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't put the time in, but it's like anything. You know what I mean? It's dense buffing. I mean, there's times that you've done corrections that have taken you longer than you've expected. You know what I mean? It's like any one of these jobs.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, we actually just had a. I think Austin's still watching. If he is, he can mention something about the clown shoe we just had. I completely forgot what exact model clown shoe this was, but it's a BMW. And I'm not sure if you're familiar, but European clear coat is typically a lot harder than American clear coat. And we started correcting this car, and we were like, you know what? This is going to be great. You know, it's really bad. It's going to come out really good, really fast. We spent probably 3 times as long correcting the car than we thought because we, underestimated how hard the clear coat was.
What is a clown shoe?
It's so the Z3s and some other models of BMW, I think, what is it? Like, I don't really know what year, but it's a hatchback version. So you have like the Z3 and then it hatches up like this and then comes down.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you get a shop, or how did you come about getting a shop?
So that's been a real fun process. I was mobile for a while, and then Austin, actually, the guy who just commented, he was doing vehicle wraps at a shop with somebody else named Rusty. And I was like, hey, if you guys, can work out a percentage to where I'm using part of your bay. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And after that, I found my own place about 2.5 years ago. And ever since then, I've just been in there. It kind of just came across from a friend of mine who was renting a unit in there as well. And I talked to the landlord, and he was like, yeah, we'd love to have you. And I'm like, cool, I'd love to be here. And that's kind of
So it sounds like you were already, you came into PDR and you had been in business already focused to one day having a shop.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, the name of the game has always been, as I said earlier, the craft. I like craft. So the name of the game has always been, how can I produce the best quality and do it a little differently than what I see everybody else doing, but still achieving the same, if not better, results. And that has been the goal this entire time and will continue to be the goal.
I feel that for a lot of guys, that's it's a hard transition because, you almost could go from chasing to go make a lot of money and then just going into a retail shop and having all these expenses to have the retail shop and maybe not having the opportunity to chase those clients, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think on that topic, and Manny and I have had this topic for years, and it's taken a while for me to even realize it. I was using a body shop for my space for years, and then I went to a smaller shop and it grew. Now I have the larger shop, but I think being established, actually having a real home, makes all the difference. For one, I think you're more credible. You know what I mean? You're not just a guy working out of a van. Not saying mobile's wrong, so guys, don't slay me here. I was mobile, and there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with mobile. But I think it's easier for me, like with the insurance companies or the higher price items that we're selling. I think it's easier to get that money than it was when we were on the road.
I would agree 100%. There's definitely a level of trust established with having a physical location that you cannot obtain while you're mobile. As you said, not that being mobile is a bad thing at all. It's a great place to be for many reasons, but there is a level of trust that you can establish with clients with that physical location.
Yeah.
But also, like how you were saying, Vincent, you have to be a craftsman at that point, right? Because you have to know, like, what is it that you're going to get out of a shop? Like, putting more time into whatever work you're doing or, things like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, man, I'm going to be straightforward. Anyone who is mobile right now, I would just consider getting physical location, because when it came down to it, with the vehicle maintenance, the insurance, the gas, it's pretty much the same as
I would agree.
Depending on where you are. You know, Ryan, I want to tell you this. I love your shop. I think it is amazing. My space is not that extravagant whatsoever, but it doesn't have to be, simply because, as I said, I'm only focused on the craft.
Yes.
How big is your shop, Vincent Ryan?
Like 800 square feet, man. It's really not super huge.
Oh wow.
Is it air conditioned?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's a must in Florida, right?
Yeah, dude, it's hot down here.
Now, everyone, I've seen these questions a couple times already. What's your go-to tool for PDR?
Oh man, I've been waiting for this question all day. So, PDR Finesse, I don't have it with me because I'm not near my shop. PDR Finesse has these double bend tools. One I think is 12-inch, and the other one I think is 24-inch. And I use those rods more than any other rod that I have.
I think there's a name for those rods, right? I've seen a lot of people,
So I'm really bad with names, people's names with things.
Same here.
So I can describe it to you to the best of my knowledge, but I have no idea what they're called.
Yeah.
The 245s? Is it like a hook and then it's got another hook at the end?
It's literally, it has the T handle, straight, bend, double bend.
Okay, so it's just like their standard ratchet handled double bends. Okay.
Yes.
But there's something with that steel or that tip or something. I've been seeing a lot of people like point those tools out.
There's a level of torque. It's almost like they're as long as like the original Dent Reaper. And the original Dent Reaper is amazing because you have a lot of torque from the side. With the double bend, you don't really go from the side like down a door, but on fenders and even on hoods where you have leverage, you have like that same type of torque but direct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, different pivot point.
Yes. Yeah.
I also see some tabs there in front of you.
Oh yeah, man. These were just kind of what I had at the house. Pico ice tabs and dead center tabs for the win, baby.
How you doing with glue pulling?
Oh, glue pulling. I love glue pulling, man. I use I haven't gotten around to getting any Glexo yet. I've seen and heard amazing things about it, and I'm really big on procrastinating sometimes. It's really my only excuse. But I use super tabs from Kiko a lot for jobs, and the Centipede tabs, they're pretty cool. But I feel like the super tabs really have the ass behind them that you would want.
Yeah. Now, glue-wise, what's your everyday go in the gun? Know it works.
Just your typical black glue, man.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah. I just recently used the tab weld.
Oh.
And yeah, because the black glue has just worked, so I haven't really experimented because it just worked. But the tab weld, I like that stuff a lot too.
Have you tried the Reaper, the new Reaper glue?
I have actually. Yes.
What do you think of that?
Enough to give you any sort of feedback. That I kind of used like one stick, but it was on really light damage, so I can't really give you any true.
What is the future of the Ding Doctor Auto Spa?
So that's a really good question. I think it's going to be what it's been for the last, pretty much the goal, just to keep honing the crafts. The only goal right now is to just keep honing them and to keep being different in my own way to show what I can do locally and, throughout the country and whatnot for people that follow me, just to keep getting better, man. That's all it is.
I was gonna ask you, having a successful business, even location with all those three services, And I feel like in the last 2 years, a lot of PDR businesses have um, have brought like ceramic and detailing and PPF, and some companies now even doing like window tinting. I mean, Ryan, do you think that is going to be like the new culture of like PDR services, and like, or do you think it's not there yet, that everyone's still like, you have a PDR tech, window tint, like all those different.
Dude, that is an amazing question. And personally, I think the more ambitious people get in the industry, I think a lot of people are moving that way. The only thing that I really have to say about that, and there's nothing wrong with this, is that a lot of people who are doing that, they subcontract a lot of people. They don't really know how to do the things themselves, which isn't a problem. However, what I feel like gives you a lot more control over the business in general, if you do go that route, is knowing how to do everything that you're planning to do yourself, as professionally as the guy down the street who's only been doing that one thing for the last, however many years.
And my personal feeling, and this is just because I'm in that now, it's easier to sell something when you know how to do it.
Absolutely. Just like when you guys asked what stabilizer was, if I didn't use the product and didn't know how to answer things like if it's more hydrophobic on vinyl or not, how well would I be able to sell it to somebody? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And when your contractor or your employee is out sick or takes a vacation, you're not shut down because you could do window tint at night or schedule it differently. I think you need to be well-rounded. On the selling end, it's a huge thing.
Yeah, man. And it also goes with people's trust too, because if you're like, and as I said, there's nothing wrong with this, but if you're just the salesman and have all these subcontractors, as you said, if someone dips out or if someone messes up and you can't explain it to the customer properly and fix it yourself right then and there or that same day, how much trust are you establishing with that customer?
Yes.
At that point, you're just the middleman. Whereas in my case, if something, I have this one little speck I don't like in my tint, bring it in. We're going to get it done with right now. You know what I mean?
Yep. Now, Adam Jones is asking, how's the stabilizer on boats?
So I personally have not used it on a boat, but I do have a lot of marine detailers that have bought it who say they have great results. So I would say order a bottle off of Amazon and see how it works on yours.
Hey, so back to what Manny was saying, his original question, I feel like our industry is changing a little bit. I do think that you see more and more dent guys adding services. I think it's a good filler too. If you're slower on dents, you can push more on window tint or ceramic coatings, and I think the profits are still there. Obviously it's not as profitable as dents because it's a very low cost service.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really cost you. Granted, you have rent, you have tools, expense, but after you buy everything you mostly have, it doesn't really cost you anything. But I do think, Manny, that the industry is shifting to more of an all-around service end.
Do you guys ever like, if a PDR job comes in and it's a nice car and it's filthy, do you ever, like, because you have that detailing business, you ever just clean up, wash the car for the client just so that it looks good, to give it that, that ding doctor touch?
Sometimes. I'm really big on that if I'm tinting a car and it's dirty. But unless it's requested or unless the car is completely trashed, I usually just remove the dent. But
like, you could tell when they just don't care. You're like, yeah, that was.
Yeah.
But selling those washes, your car's in, it's easier to sell the other services when the dent car's in there.
Yes, that is very true.
So like, I'll be like, hey, we can, while your car's here, you've dropped it off for the day. Do you want to have it washed while it's there? Yeah, sure. $45, quick hand wash. It's gone. You know what I mean? So
what I've learned a lot is actually when a car is in my shop for a ceramic coating, I sell more PDR jobs that way because there's a lot you don't see when your car has, a haze to it. And after you glass the panel, no swirls, no nothing. It's like, oh, well, there's this dent I didn't see. It's like, well, I know a guy. So,
What ceramic coating are you using?
System X. It's been the best coating I've used thus far.
Good stuff. Good
System
stuff.
X, you said?
Yeah, System X ceramic coating. It's some really good stuff, man.
Nice. You have employees with you, Vincent? You said you have a crew, or is it just you by yourself?
So Austin Howell, the guy who keeps commenting, he doesn't work for me. He works with me. You could say that I subcontract him. I did have an apprentice, not anymore. We just had different views. I don't dislike the guy at all. He's a great kid. But Austin and I have been working with each other for a long time now, and I can't think of a better team, honestly.
Are apprentices even exist anymore? I feel like they want to just jump straight to entrepreneurs. Like, are there any still left out there, or?
No.
Man, it's
Crickets.
I don't really know. I can't answer that question without seeming like I'm throwing shade. So I'm just gonna.
I say that because I get a lot of guys is like, yeah, you want to learn. It's just like, yeah, man. Well, you got to start from the bottom, but it's just like, nope.
Man, sorry, Ryan.
Go ahead.
I was just talking with someone about this today, man. A lot of people want to get rich quick. They want to get it and then go. They don't understand that 2% or 5% what gets you to that slope of growth that you will eventually get to without rushing.
Yes. I mean, look at Chick-fil-A's $19 an hour or something. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you even compete with this? You know what I mean? It's crazy. And the other thing is, I think it's a different generation. In the beginning I kept hearing, Gen Xers or whatever. And I'm like, whatever. But I really do think kids I used to play outside and do whatever. Now kids aren't playing outside as much. I think it's just a different time. I think the blue collar, hardworking with their hands, the next few years, it's going to be the industries. All of them are going to be in big trouble.
Man.
Body shop, HVAC, plumbers, all that stuff, because kids aren't getting into it.
Man, I agree with you. And it's so funny that this topic came up because there's a kid. I say kid, he's 18. He just aged out of the system. And this is something you're probably going to see a lot of, Ryan, because, man, this kid, I heard that he tinted his own windows at 17 before he aged out of care. And I got his information and got in contact with him so quick. And I was like, hey, you need a mentor? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, bet. I don't even care if you work for me. So he starts next week.
That's cool. That is cool.
It's hard to find any help. You know what I mean? It's hard to find kids that really want to do anything.
Yeah.
So how can people find you?
So honestly, man, Facebook, Vincent Wilhite, Dean Dr. Auto Spa. As I said, I'm not really on Instagram or TikTok or anything. I mean, I am, but I don't really pay attention to those things like I do Facebook. But man,
do you do a lot of social media marketing or?
A lot of people who have me on Facebook have a lot to say about my social media marketing. They
okay.
Some of it's funny as shit.
Fuck, man. Yeah. I would say that I'm very adamant about how I market on Facebook. I love it, man. It's fun.
That's cool. So you're on Facebook and everyone could find you under.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Vincent Wilhite. You can just look me up, friend request or follow, whatever. I switched my Facebook recently to monetization status or whatever. So I don't even know if people can send me friend requests anymore, but
it's funny as shit. There's some stuff on there that is funny.
Dude, it's so funny because Yeah, it's funny. And that's the thing, because like System X themselves will literally tell new installers to reach out to me to learn how to market. And I'm like, dude, I'm not an expert marketer. All I do is crack jokes on Facebook, man. I really don't know what to tell you guys other than be yourself and be honest with people. Like, it's really funny, man.
That is crazy. You know, all I could keep thinking in my head, I'm like, I feel like MTE is just like, it's made for you. Like, you're the guy who, you know, they have everything at MTE just for you, like PDR, you know, detailing, ceramic, and window tinting. That's got to be like your place, right?
Yeah, it's fun, man. Being on Facebook and being on here is one thing, but I'm really awkward in person, and I don't always
You're
feel
not that bad. I remember you from
like I fit in sometimes. So like when I'm there, I'm kind of just like, yeah, hey, haha, dent rods. You know what I mean? Like, so it is fun. I just, I'm a little more awkward in person than I am online.
You're doing just fine. You haven't exited out that open door. It's been good.
Oh man, I forgot it was open.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I was excited. I was like, let me, I've been watching your stuff, so it's been really cool to watch you grow.
Very, very encouraging, to tell you the truth, that just to know that you were self-trained on line boards by yourself. You learned window tinting, you learned detailing. Looks like you've mastered all, 3 of them. It's very encouraging, and I really like your views. Just, it's the craftsmanship, It's not because you can make more money, if you did this, not because it's the craftsmanship and just pushing yourself to be the best that you could be,
Dude, I'm going to end this on this note. Money is important, but the most miserable people that I personally have met in life have had the most money. So no matter what, if you have money or not, you should always be looking at something else rather than just the money.
Yeah.
And if it's a craft or any way you can improve yourself and those around you, that's where you're actually, profiting.
Yeah. And if there's anyone who's trying to get into window tinting, detailing, or let's say paintless dent repair, I mean, with your experience, what would be your 2 cents to?
My 2 cents would be always use practice panels or practice cars. The second one, fuck up until you don't fuck up.
That's a good one.
That's it.
I love that one.
Keep messing up until you don't mess up anymore. And then once you're not messing up, you're doing something right. And then once you actually get professional, you're like, damn, I remember when I sucked, and now I don't suck as bad.
You're right. The other thing is transparency.
Dude, let me shed some light on that, man. A lot of people, whether it be in business or with the people around them or anything, everyone has this hidden agenda. But what they don't understand is like that energy you keep in catches up to you. So like if you're trying, if something goes wrong, or if you're trying to like hide something, you have that agenda, it's going to meet you face to face in some other way. If you're just open about it, people can't say anything about you. You can't, like, you already said it. You already know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to work with people. People just don't care about people anymore. And if you're transparent and you explain things and spend the time with them, easy sale.
It's all care. It's honesty. It's genuineness, man. If you're yourself and if you're honest with them in the ways you want them to be honest with you, if you were in their shoes, that's your profit. It's right there.
Yeah. Well, Vince, thanks again. Hopefully we'll see you at MTE.
Thanks for coming on and sharing your story, Vincent. Like I said, it was very, very encouraging, and best wishes to you. Hope to awkwardly meet you at MTE. Just kidding.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on here. And Ryan, dude, your shop's so cool. And Manny, I'm going to have to take it up to you too, guys. I really appreciate it. And, I've had a great time.
Go to Amazon, buy a stabilizer.
It's some pretty good stuff. You know what I mean?
I'll see you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Vincent.
Yeah, man.
This is a good one. I told you, he was like, when I said to Manny, I said, I got the guy. He's like, who is it? I'm like, Vincent. He goes, who? I don't know. I was like, just trust me. I've been watching them for a while.
You
Just
know, but this is what's cool about the show. You know, we get all kinds of guys from all over the country with just different stories. You know, I got to say, Vincent's story was very encouraging. You know,
And
just like self-taught on all these traits. You know,
his personality helps.
Yeah.
He says he's awkward. He's not awkward.
We're all awkward in our own ways, man.
That's why we all get along. You know what I mean? So you've got to go.
Yeah,
So
I actually do gotta go.
Have a fantastic evening. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Yes, thank you.
And keep it real. Wash your damn hands, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ryan. See you.